WHCS Channel 29 presents Group AAA Eastern Region Playoff Girls Basketball. The Phoebus Phantoms versus the Cox Falcons. Good evening, everybody. I'm Tim Cole along with Bob Hintz, and we are here at Frank W. Cox Fieldhouse in Virginia Beach for the regional game between the Phoebus Phantoms and the Cox Falcons. And Bob, looks like we've got a real good game between two really fine girls basketball teams.
Well, this is not the first time that they have met, Tim. Last year, as you was talking to Mike Talon, mentioned that they played Cox last year, got beat in an overtime, but last year 3 teams from this area went to the state, and Phoebus ended up losing to the eventual state champions. This is going to be an exciting game in the sense that we have 2 teams that are really a lot different. Cox is a very big team. They got 2 6'1" gals and 1 5'11", and they're very strong inside. They want to get the ball inside. They want to play half-court offense. On the other hand, Phoebus likes to up-tempo, and this is one thing Mike said he's going to do is put pressure on their guards so that maybe they can't run their offense. And of course he wants to move up and down the floor, maybe wear them out and get some early points. Does not want to get behind early with his team.
There you see the coaching staff, Mike Talon and the girls from Phoebus, assistant coach LaVon Morrow and team manager Sherry Alston.
Also,
and of course Aubrey Perry, I understand, is also an unpaid assistant.
Right, he's doing a real good job for these. Now we're going to have the starting lineups for him, and what we'll do is we'll pick them up as he's calling them out, Tim, if you want. We'll try to pick up who he's calling out, and then we'll talk a little bit about the gal. This Nikki Reed was the MVP at the Peninsula District Tournament, just did an outstanding job over there. Well, when we got a chance, we do. The officials tonight is a mixed crew. We have Dennis Nixon, who is the umpire from the Southeastern, and the referee is Ray Keegan from the Peninsula District, who you and I have seen. So it looks like we're going to go with the playing of the national anthem, Tim.
Well, we're having the colors presented down to our left. I'm not sure whether or not they're going to have the national anthem, but we will get to that in a moment.
And while we're talking about the coach for the Falcons is Stuart Holland. Now there's a good shot of him coming in, and you can see the color guard. This is one of the ROTC unit here at I believe he said this may be a group from Indian River. Crowd here, Tim, to start off this game, but it's going to be a vocal crowd.
Of course, the Cox Falcons are playing in front of their home team crowd here at the Cox High School Gymnasium. They come into the game having only 2 losses on the season. They are 21-2. And as you said, they are coached by Stuart Holland. The Phoebus Phantoms on the other side have 19-5 record, and they are on a roll, so to speak. They did defeat the #1 girls team, at least by record, last Friday night at Hampton University when they defeated the Menchville Monarchs. So the Phoebus Phantoms can beat this team. They have lost to this team in overtime last year, and they'd like nothing better than to avenge that particular loss. Pick up the introduction starting lineup. Nikki Reed, there you see her on the center of your screen. Her like number is Tammy Hedspeth, number 12. Yolanda Keeler, number 12, is the second starter announced for the Phoebus Phantoms. The other one is Holly Bear, number 20. There you see her being introduced for the Cox Falcons. Monica Hart will play center. Her number is 42 for the Phantoms. Kristen Horton, number 14 for the Cox Falcons. Juanita Cook, number 24 for the Phoebus Phantoms.
And 32, Sarah Captain, forward.
Sarah Captain, number 32 for the Cox Falcons. There you see a good shot of her.
Number 15 for the Phantoms.
Tammy Boggs for the Phantoms.
And Allison Moore, number 44, forward.
And Allison Moore, number 44 for the Cox Falcons.
And she's a young lady that has already signed to go to UVA, Tim. Mike Callan was talking about her earlier.
There you see the huddle for the Cox team. 21-2 on the season. Phoebus 19-5. Nikki Reed coming off from, if not her finest game, certainly one of her finest games ever. 31 points in the finals at Hampton University the other night. And she, of course, was the MVP, as many of you undoubtedly know, during that particular tournament.
Well, we saw that the Phoebus team play as good as we have seen a girls team play all year long. They took Menchville, who had beaten Phoebus twice during the regular season, took them completely out of their game plan and just really ran away from it at the end. But Tammy Boggs started hitting during the second half, which was a big plus. They've got a real big team here they're facing tonight.
Phoebus has the savvy in Nikki Reed and Tammy Boggs. They have the size in Monica Hart. They just have to play up to their potential. Cox has been ranked either #1 or #2 in the state all year long, so it'll be an uphill battle for the Phantoms. The ball is controlled by the Cox Falcons. They're in the yellow uniforms with the green trim. Phoebus, the visitors tonight, in the blue uniforms with the gold trim. From deep in the corner, the shot is no good, and Phoebus gets the rebound. Monica Hart clears the board.
Now that's what they're going to have to do, and what Mike wants to do is push that ball up when they get the rebound. But that time, Cox got back plenty fast. Now it looks like they're playing a box and one. They're playing Nikki Reed man-to-man with number 20, Haley Bear.
This is Yolanda Keeler with a left-handed dribble, being guarded by Allison Moore. Now Nikki Reed picked up, as you said.
Take it back, Tim. They're in a man-to-man. It just doesn't look like they're in a man-to-man because
they're kind of sagging under
slack underneath. Nice feed inside.
Juanita Cook. So Juanita Cook gets the nice feed underneath the basket and scores the bucket. Phoebus goes out on top 2-0. This is Holly Bear, guarded by Nikki Reed. Allison Moore will fire. Yes. Allison Moore from 14, and we're tied at 2.
And we saw these girls warming up, Tim, and they can flat shoot that ball from the outside. Now, they may spread it out.
They meaning the
Falcons.
Phantoms.
They may just spread that ball out and say, okay, you're going to come out and play us man-to-man, but we're going to spread this thing out and maybe get some one-on-one situations here.
Keeler guarded by Moore. Now Tammy Boggs gets the ball right at the center court area. Now Nikki Reed, 31 points last Friday night in that victory over Menchville, 62-5. They demolished the Menchville Monarchs girls. Yolanda Keeler. Remind you that we play 4 8-minute quarters in high school basketball. And of course, there is a 3-point shot line. You can see it right in the center of your screen. Keeler to Juanita Cook and throw it back out to Tammy Boggs. This undoubtedly was Mike Talon's strategy coming in the game. He wouldn't divulge it to me during our early conversation. The ball goes out of bounds and it belongs to the Phantoms. They said it was last touch.
It was hit by one of the Cox girls. This is not a very good game from the standpoint of the fans, but it's an excellent game plan for Mike Talon. He wants to get these young ladies shook up a little bit, talking about the Cox team, because it's an excellent team.
Well, they also said that he felt, take it for what it's worth, he said if they can stay close, then they can win the game. They just can't get behind early.
That's right.
So one way to stay close is to, in essence, freeze the ball. As you probably know, there is no shot clock in high school basketball, so you do not have to shoot the ball in a prescribed period of time. Nikki Reed. Now Yolanda Keeler. She looks inside. They've got it spread out. Allison Moore guarding Keeler is considerably taller than she.
And
Keeler
not as quick as she is by any means.
Keeler using her speed. Tammy Boggs, of course, we know what she can do with the ball. She's got a great shooting eye. She'll penetrate and kick it back out to Nikki Reed. 4:35 to go in the first quarter. Tied at 2. 2 points for Juanita Cook and 2 for Allison Moore of Cox. Nikki Reed being given instructions from the sidelines by Mike Talon. Tammy Boggs out to Nikki Reed.
Now they are setting up in a double post. They are setting up in their offense.
Double pick set on the left side. Ball is knocked away. And then a foul on the reach-in by Yolanda Keeler. So the Cox Falcons are able to steal the ball, and in the ensuing play, Keeler fouls one of the Cox players, and it'll be a player control foul, as that is the first personal foul of the ball game. Less than 4 minutes to go. This is Allison Moore, guarded by Boggs. 16-footer doesn't go. Monica Hart with her second rebound. Nikki Reed pushes it up the floor. Cox gets back quickly, and now the Phantoms will set up. There you see Yolanda Keeler. Now she's left alone, and now one of the Cox girls comes out to pick her up. Double low post set by Reed and Hart. That's the tall and short of it there.
Yeah, what they do is they call that is just a double stack, but now it's high. You notice they're up around the foul line. When it's down, sometimes they'll get down close to the basket, and that's a double low stack. But what they're doing is trying to rub off and get a good screen and maybe a layup off of it. It's not a stall. This is an offense.
Deliberate, to say the least. Ball is knocked away, and it's lost out of bounds by Juanita Cook.
Well, that's what hurts. You go down and you're trying to run a control offense and get a good shot and throw the ball away. That's twice now Phoebus has turned the ball over. The last time Cox was unable to score.
On the give and go underneath, and a travel charge to the Cox Falcons. So Tammy Boggs tied up Tammy Hedspeth just long enough to force her to shuffle her feet. So again, now the score tied at 2. 2 minutes and 15 seconds to go in the first quarter. Tim Cole with Bob Hintz from the Frank W. Cox Fieldhouse in Virginia Beach. Second game to be played here this evening will be a game we'll also be recording for you. That'll be the Hampton Crabbers and the Green Run Stallions. Nikki Reed uses her quickness to penetrate, then dishes it back out.
She is an excellent little ball handler, Tim. I know she'd like to do no more than beat that young lady Gardner and get an easy layup, but the Falcons are really playing it smart. They got their big men that they drift towards the basket, so you're not going to get an easy shot. They're keeping that middle clogged up, but you can see they're overshot right there.
.120 time remaining, first quarter. The count starts now as Ray Keegan rules that the Cox player is close enough to Nikki. And his indication, you may see the official at the right-hand side of your screen. When he holds his both hands out to his sides, that means that the defender is not close enough to precipitate a count.
Right, and once he starts to count, then they know they got 5 seconds to do something with the ball dribbling. Now, if you stay closely guarded, another 5 seconds starts and you can't get a call where you turn the ball over.
Cox starting to pressure the ball a little more closely. 32 seconds to go in the first quarter. 2-2 is our score, and the ball lost out of bounds, and it went out of bounds last touch by the Phantoms.
Well, I see what they're trying to do is take the last shot, and they just end up throwing the ball away.
And it belongs to Cox, as Juanita Cook tried to save it on the baseline and was a little late getting there. Phantoms tipped the ball into the back court, and it will belong to Cox. 15 seconds remaining in the first quarter. We're tied at 2 as Phoebus has gone to the deliberate offense. Double teaming the ball momentarily. Drive the lane, put up the left-hander. It's a little strong. Rebound inside, no good. Another rebound, but no, we have a foul before, and it's going to be called against Tammy Boggs. Tammy did a good job of blocking out, but in doing so, she obviously pushed off on the rebound.
Well, there's 3 seconds to go, Tim. They're going to have to get the shot off quick. That foul was before.
Tipped on the inbounds and lost out of bounds. The shot at the buzzer is no good, or I should say the shot was good, but the time had elapsed.
Well, Mike Talon's got to be kind of happy with the score. It's 2-2. He's turned the ball over 3 times, and they have not scored off any of the turnovers. And they will have the ball to start in the second quarter because Cox got the ball on the jump. It's an interesting game, but it's not a lot of action in it, so we're going to try to do a little filling going on. But Mike is understanding. When I was talking to him, this team that he's playing, Tim, that went to the state last year, all of them are back. He's got 1 girl back from that team last year, and that's Nikki Reed. That's the only gal he's got that's come back. So he's playing with 4 brand new gals against a team of seasoned veterans that went all the way to state last year. So, he's got the pressures on him, so he's making a move to stay close like he told you. Hopefully, if he's close, he's got a chance to win it, and that's what he's doing.
Dennis Nixon and Ray Keegan on your screen a moment ago, the officials. Of course, this is a relatively easy game. There you see, or saw at least, Mike Talon. Easy game for the officials to call because there isn't a lot of action. They just basically have the team spread out, and therefore makes it that much easier for them to officiate. Little strategy by the officials, as of course they have to work as a team as well. I've seen a couple of the girls kind of slide on this floor. It's a shiny surface, as many gym floors are. I just have to wonder about the footing. Tammy Boggs, as she started her dribble that time, her foot slipped. I'm just curious as to how slippery this floor might be.
It looks slippery, Tim, but it shouldn't be. They're treated.
I'm sure it's not. It just appeared to be.
Right,
their
because
footing
the way she
seems to
put
be
a foot down and slipped a little bit. That's a good point.
Tammy getting a count. Now she starts the dribble. This is Nikki Reed giving directions to her teammates. Wants Yolanda Keeler to set up on the left side. Now the count begins as the defender, Holly Bear, gets close enough. This is Yolanda Keeler, guarded by Allison Moore. Allison Moore has the 2 points Cox has registered. Yolanda Keeler had a shot for a moment there, but elected to kick it back out.
Yeah, Nikki Reed would have shot that shot. No doubt in my mind. I thought for sure that Yolanda was going to shoot.
So Nikki now realizes that Ray Keegan has started the count. 6.5 minutes to go in the half. We're tied at 2. That's right, in the half. You just joined us. We had but 2 points scored for each team in the first quarter. A slowdown tactic being employed by the Phantoms. They lost in overtime 71-68 last year to this Cox team. They had led by 11 points in that particular game, only to see number 52, Diane Bird, come in the game, who we watched warm up and shot continually three-point range, just swished continually during the pregame shoot. Anyway, she came in last year and brought her team back and eventually won that game.
Well, Mike said that he was glad there wasn't the three-point shot last year because she was shooting from the dead corner, made 3 in a row, which would have been 9 points instead of 6. But they end up losing in overtime anyway.
Yolanda Keeler. Double team now as Cox picks up the pressure. She gets it away though. Tammy Boggs gets it. This is Nikki Reed. This is Tammy Boggs. As again, the pressure from the Falcons starts to increase. Yolanda Keeler dribbles across the lane. I'm not sure exactly what Phoebus is looking for. They've had some openings. I'm not sure they just don't want to wear the clock down completely.
At this point, I'm sure Mike wouldn't mind going in at halftime at a 2-2 tie.
Yolanda Keeler set a pick for Holly Bear. Took a pretty good shot, but no call. Tammy guarded by Tammy Hedspeth.
Well, it does look like Tammy Boggs, when she takes her first step, it slips a little, Tim. I noticed. Maybe it's her shoes.
Now double team on Nikki Reed. The ball knocked away. Otherwise, of course, she would have been called for the double dribble. There you see the scoreboard. 4:22. Clock moving. Yolanda Keeler took a pretty good lick again that time. It's for a slowdown game in a non-contact sport. It was pretty heavy contact on occasion out there. Oh my, Keeler threw it into the back court, so the turnover will give the ball to Cox.
You got to concentrate on your passes, and that was just a poor pass.
So now Cox goes on offense. Phoebus in a man-to-man.
Well, Cox will not hold the ball.
I don't think they will. You're right. Tammy Hedspeth, and we've got a jump ball. The possession arrow belongs to Cox.
Well, that's good. Excellent defense by Yolanda Keeler. She got a hold of the ball and did not commit a foul.
Dish it off inside, put up too strong, knocked around, controlled by Tammy Boggs. She lost it and now finally controlled by Nikki Reed.
Well, they're not taking the shots that the Cox girls are taking, Tim. We're talking 5 and 6 feet from the basket, and they're kind of hurrying them because they figure if we don't shoot, we're going to stand on defense.
It has a psyching ability to the other team, I think. I think Cox might be a little psyched out. They have shot horribly. They've had plenty of good opportunities. Whereas on the other side of the coin, they were getting the ball on turnovers committed by the Phantoms. Phoebus is getting the rebound off missed shots. So the percentages here are probably much higher for Phoebus. Quick break. Allison Moore dish it off inside. Battle for, and it's a jump ball.
And it'll be Phoebus.
Belongs to Phoebus. Nikki Reed had a word or two for Sarah Captain, a much bigger individual than Nikki, but then most people are.
You got a point, but I tell you, not many of them got a much bigger heart than that young lady's got.
That's for sure. Diminutive in size alone. Nikki Reed, as I was talking with Mike Talon before the game, he and I both agreed that as far as basketball sense is concerned, he doesn't know very many people who are any better than Nikki Reed. She has great sense as to where she is, where the ball should be, and where her players are. She's just an excellent basketball athlete, no question about that. And Nikki was fiery. She's got a little
she's
fire.
got that spark of competitiveness in there. She didn't like to lose. And that's what you want. You want somebody out there that doesn't want to lose. And she's not going to give up anything just because she's small. Don't mean she can't play this ball game. And she does an excellent job, as we saw over there in Peninsula District.
Here you see Tammy Boggs dishes it back out to Nikki Reed, top of the key. You see that three-point line I was talking about.
Well, I tell you, Tim, you got to take your hand off to the Falcon team. They are well coached. They do a good job of jumping out on the cutter and won't let anybody drive to the basket wide open.
Tammy will take the shot from her spot. It's a bad shot, but that's normally where she'll be effective.
And I don't know if Mike wanted her to take that shot. Had she made it, he'd probably have said, great.
Inside of a minute and 30 seconds in the first half, 2-2. This is Moore. She'll fire it up.
And that was Tammy Boggs, left her open to go try to double team and did not get back in time.
So Allison Moore has all of the Cox High School points from exactly the same spot on the floor. Looks like a real good-looking shooter. Now the Phantoms bring the ball in, and a foul on Yolanda Keeler. That's her second. It'll be a player control foul.
Well, Tim, I don't think Phoebus is taking but 2 shots. The one they made and then the one that Tammy missed.
Baseline jumper, Tammy Hedspeth. So now it's a 4-point lead for the Falcons.
Well, they're going for 1 shot.
35 seconds remaining in the first half. Bob Hintz along with Tim Cole here at Frank W. Cox High School Fieldhouse in Virginia Beach. Our pleasure to bring this game to you on Channel 29. My understanding, although that's unofficial, is that as long as a Hampton City school is involved in regional action, we will be able to bring these games to you. Or at least we certainly hope we can. A lot of times, conditions for our setup will dictate that as well. 4 seconds to go. Tammy Boggs will take the shot, and it is a blocked shot.
No foul there. Gail got the hand on the ball, Tim, but she may have got some body contact, but Ray Keegan says no way. And so Phoebus goes in with a 6-2. They're behind by 4, but that's better than being behind by 14.
So at halftime, you're down by 4. You've played a close game. I guess what you want to do is you want to minimize the time that you have. I guess that's the obvious attitude of Mike Talon at this point, is to cut down as much time as possible that his team can be behind. And not that his team doesn't have the talent to stay with this team, but just this other team is big.
Well, it's big. He knows he's going to get beat on the boards. So he told me before the game he's going to do 1 or 2 things. He's going to try to push the ball up. If they can push the ball up and get some scores quick and put some pressure on them, fine. But he says, I might spread it out. He says, because I want to try to go in at halftime close. And he's definitely close for it. That's only 2 baskets. But they got to start running offense and quit turning the ball over. They've turned the ball over 5 or 6 times, which is, that's not good.
Okay, we're at halftime. Our score, Frank W. Cox High School 6, the Phoebus Phantoms 2, believe it or not. We'll be back with halftime statistics and our second half of action. But first, this brief timeout. Tim Cole with Bob Hintz back at Cox High School. Halftime score 6-2 in favor of Cox. The scoring in the first half, Juanita Cook took care of all of the scoring for Phoebus. 2 points for Juanita Cook and the Phoebus team. For Cox High School, Allison Moore had 4, and the other 2 points, Tammy Hedspeth.
But Tim, what we was talking about during halftime, I hope that the girls didn't get the message from Phoebus, didn't get the message that we cannot play with this team. and that's why we're spreading it out. That was just a strategy on Mike Talon's part, and I'm sure that they're going to have to get out here and play basketball with them. There's a good shot of Mike and Levon Morrow sitting on the bench. Because Phoebus does have an excellent team. They wouldn't be here if they didn't. But it's, you're down by 4. You played a slow down ball. Now you're going to have to put pressure, and hopefully you make some turnovers and convert some easy points.
This is Tammy Hedsbeth. Haley Bayer drives the lane, dishes it off underneath. Nice play. Sarah Captain gets 2 for the Falcons. Nikki Reed pushes it up.
That's a shot, Nikki.
That's her shot. She's got it down, and it comes back out. Sarah Captain with the rebound. Long pass down the floor, traveling. Kristen Horton took a couple of extra steps.
There's more action in this first half a minute we had in the first half.
Falcons up by 6 points, 8-2. There you see the score.
Now Phoebus has got to look to score. They got to get the ball, run their offense, get the ball into their scores.
Hopefully we'll get you to have an interview with Mike Talon at the conclusion of the game, if possible, Bob. Maybe you can ask him about his strategy here and how effective you think it was. Of course, at that point, we'll know how effective it worked out overall. I'm sure what he wanted to do is make it a close game, at least for the second half. Boggs to Keeler. Keeler picked up by the considerably taller Allison Moore. Keeler at the baseline. Tammy Boggs, pressure.
Well, Tammy had the gal all over. She should have turned around and shot. She would have got a foul out of that anyway.
Feel that pressure, then you go up with it.
Right, you got to look to score.
And we know Tammy Boggs and Nikki Reed can both score. .606 remains in the third quarter. 8-2. Cox ahead of Phoebus. Monica Hart will put it up. It's partially deflected. Back come the Falcons. Allison Moore, baseline, feed inside. Juanita Cook intercepts.
Now that's what Phoebus has got to do. Play some tough defense, get the ball, move it down, get the ball to your score, and then go up and shoot the ball just like that, and you got your 2 points. That's what they got to do, Tim. Before that Cox team can get back and set up on their defense, because they're so big.
Knocked away by Nikki Reed.
They got him hurrying, see, and that's what they'll make some mistakes.
Keeler gives it to Nikki Reed. Tammy Boggs calls for the ball. And a travel as Nikki Reed just simply lost the handle on the ball, turned around to pick it up, and in doing so, she shuffled her feet.
Well, that's a double dribble, Tim. She dribbled, stopped, the ball will hit the ground again, she picked it up, and that's a double dribble.
8-4, Cox. Kristen Horton out for Sarah Captain, knocked away and controlled by Monica Hart. So the Falcons are turning the ball over. The difference has been Phoebus has been unable to really capitalize on those turnovers. And now a timeout called by Yolanda Keeler.
Mike has got something he's not happy with out there, but the one time they came down and scored, they got down, they got the ball to Tammy Boggs here on the right side. We've seen her shoot that shot many times, and she's very, very accurate with that shot. Nobody got out on her. She made the shot. We could see when she releases right here in front of us, it was a two-pointer. That's what they got to do, is get that ball, hurry it down the court. Mike had talked about this earlier. Let us get down the court before their defense can set up. If they do that and cause Cox to maybe rush a little where they're not used to rushing, we've seen them turn the ball over, 2 or 3 times, Tim.
4:49 to go here in the third quarter. Some of the crowd here for the game, the crowd continuing to file in. Of course, the boys game will follow this game, and we'll have both of these games for you. The Hampton Crabbers will try to advance in regional play against the undefeated Green Run Stallions. That game right here on Channel 29. Monica Hart, guarded by Allison Moore, kicks it back out to Keeler. Keeler to Hart. Hart looks for Nikki Reed. Tammy Boggs is open on the left side. Hart is fouled.
That's what she's got to do. She's got to look to score also, Tim, and that was a good shot that time because she was about 10 feet from the basket. She was fouled. The time before she wanted to shoot, it was blocked from behind.
That is the first team foul on Cox in the game. And we've played 3.5 minutes of the second half. First free throw comes up a little short.
Well, she got to follow through. She didn't follow all the way through that time and came up a little short. She's got a good rotation on the ball. That's a better shot. That was close to being a 5-second call, Tim.
Tammy Boggs knocks it away from behind. Keeler chases it down. And now a jump ball ensues, and that ball will belong to the Phantoms.
It will. I noticed the clock light is up, Tim, but they pointed that it's over. It's to the Phantoms, so they got a chance now to come down and score a basket and get within 1 point. This has got to be a. He's calling timeout. Find out about the clock. Why is it off? Or the light is off. This has got to build up the confidence of the Falcon, the Lady Phantoms, Tim.
All right, so Ray Keegan becomes an electrician. Does the job.
Well, he got the light on, so that's good. That's what we want. Okay, now we go.
Down by 3. Let's see if we get our illustrious cameraman here to move so we can see. Ball turned over by the Phantoms. This is Hedspeth. Allison Moore. Cross court. Inside it goes for Sarah Captain. It just won't go for her. And now we've got an out of bounds play and the last touch by the Phantoms. Left-hander put up from 17, no good. Monica Hart wipes the boards clean.
She's doing a good job rebounding against those taller girls, Tim.
Monica Hart's no little girl. Inside for
nice
Juanita
pass,
Cook.
nice pass. We've seen them run that all year long. Got that ball right into Juanita Cook. Excellent.
And a foul, a tough call on Yolanda Keeler. That's her third. And that foul occurred right in front of us.
That is her third foul, Tim?
Third foul. That's a tough call. Stolen by Nikki Reed. Put it up. It doesn't go, but she'll get 2 shots.
That's what we've seen her do last week, Tim. She will hawk that ball as short as she is. She will take that ball right in against that 6'1" gal, number 44. Allison Moore just took her right into the basket. No fear. Now she's got to concentrate. She's got a chance to put the Phantoms ahead for the first time. No, I'm taking it back. They did have the 2 only, didn't they, Tim? Very, very short lead.
Nikki with her first point of the night, and we're tied at 8. There you see a good shot of Nikki.
Concentration on that face, Tim.
She tried for the inbound steal. Down the court it goes. Knocked away by Monica Hart.
That's a good job of hustling down the court by Monica.
So the Phantoms now 9-8 with 3:14 to go in the third quarter. Hedspeth inside it goes, and it goes in for Kristen Horton. So the lead seesaws now, 10-9 Cox High School.
Phoebus was in that zone that time on that out of bounds, and they just flashed the gal across the center and got that easy shot.
Hart and Allison Moore doing a lot of banging inside. From 13, the shot by Keeler doesn't go, and it's knocked away by Keeler. On the ensuing play, Allison Moore will inbounds for Cox. 2:44 left in the third quarter. Phoebus pressuring the ball at all times. And down in a heap is Yolanda Keeler, and the ball is stolen by the Phantoms.
That was an awesome pick to put her on the floor.
Really was, and she's feeling a little for the worse. Tammy Boggs wants to get it inside. She does.
Good job of Monica Hart getting that ball out.
Juanita Cook, actually, number 24, was the intended recipient, and she couldn't get it, so wisely she kicked it out to a teammate. Nikki Reed, of course, held to 2 points here in the ballgame. Tammy Boggs will fire kind of an off-balance shot. Not a particularly good shot. Tammy Hedspeth gives to Holly Bear. And now we have timeout called by Cox.
There was a lot more action in this quarter, but I tell you, the Phoebus gals can play with this Cox girls team. But they're going to have to cut down on their mistakes, throwing the ball away, and they're going to have to take good shots, get that ball inside. Now, when they've worked the ball inside, got it inside to Juanita Cook, got a nice shot. I know Mike was upset with Yolanda taking that outside shot. She's not an outside shooter. She's not one of the leading scorers. If I want a shot taken from the outside, I want either Nikki Reed or Tammy Boggs to take it, because those are your two scorers. The other people is get the ball inside. Yolanda's more of a role player. She's running the offense and plays real good defense, so that's what we're looking for.
Interestingly enough, Yolanda Keeler is doing a lot more of the, as you say, running of the offense tonight. Nikki Reed, you know, in the last game against Menchfield, Nikki was as much a part of that part of the game, but seems to have taken that aspect of her game away from her.
Yeah, evidently Mike wants to get the ball to Nikki where she doesn't have to create it all like on a one-on-one situation.
Sarah Captain turns around and shoots, and a foul.
Now what Monica Hart's got to do is not let that pass get in. I mean, the gal got the pass 5-6 feet from the basket. Turn around, you got an easy shot. You got to not let her get that easy pass. Front her, make them lob the ball, do something that she's not accustomed to doing.
Sarah Captain perfect at the free throw line. She gets both, and it's a 3-point lead for the Falcons.
Now we see Nikki running the offense, Tim.
Tammy Boggs, top of the key, out to Reed, to Keeler. Juanita Cook, who hasn't been in the offensive flow, but she's gotten 2 baskets, just being in the right place under the basket. Nikki penetrates, puts it up, yes.
Excellent job.
She waited for the pressure before she shot. That's, again, the sign of her savvy. She knew to wait for the pressure, then she wasn't fouled, but she knew to at least feel that pressure before she put it up.
5 seconds. I thought that was close to a 5-second call.
You must inbound.
You notice what Phoebus is doing, Tim. Excuse me, I don't mean to talk over you, but they're not putting anybody on person throwing the ball in bounds, keeping somebody back so they can't lob the ball down the court.
You must inbounds before 5 seconds once the official gives the ball to you. Now, it must be touched.
Right, that's the key. It's got to be touched by somebody.
Within 5 seconds. This one's knocked out of bounds by the Cox player, Tammy Hedspeth.
And she's really hustling out there tonight, too. She reminds me a lot of Nikki in her hustle.
Did she come back yet? There she is.
She took a breather.
12-11. Phoebus now with a chance to tie the ball game. Tammy has the shot momentarily.
That's silly. They're in a daggone zone. Should not turn the ball over.
Good play by Cox, but they can't get it to go, and quickly comes Yolanda Keeler. And she needs to hold up and get under control. 12-11, 26 seconds to go in the third.
They got to be aware of how much time's on the clock out there. And I know Nikki knows, but I don't know about the rest of them.
Monica Hart will shoot.
That's it. That's okay. That was a good shot. Put pressure on the girl so that you can't shoot.
Desperation shot fired up at the buzzer. It doesn't go. A couple of Phoebus Phantoms down on the floor out of exhaustion as much as anything.
Well, they kind of bumped each other going for the ball, Tim.
Pace was much quicker in the third quarter, needless to say. And after 3 quarters of play, it's a 1-point lead. It was a 4-point lead at halftime for Cox. And now it's just a 1-point game. So you got to feel pretty good if your name is Mike Talon.
Well, that's what he wanted to be. He wanted to be close at halftime. And then he's going to play with them the second half. And his team can play with them. But I think his main concern was if we play with them the whole game, we will have too many people fouling out. We can't afford to do that. We don't have that strong a bench. Not with the size of the people that we got to go in. That's what I'm sure that was in his mind. I don't know if he verbalized that, but I'm sure that was part of it. But he's doing an excellent job of coaching and getting maximum output from his team. And that's all he wants. Just give me the best you can, and we walk away, hold our head high with a win or lose. If you play give it your all. And that's what he wants out there.
And as you said before, Mike Talon took a team that had basically one returning player, that was Nikki Reed, and molded it into a contender. So you've got to take your hat off to Mike Talon and his coaching talents. Monica Hart has the ball knocked away, and then a foul ensues, and that is against Hart. That's her second.
Well, that was a late call. He blew the whistle after they went for the ball a second time. And I thought maybe the foul was on the other gal, on number 32.
I thought it might be as well, but it wasn't. It was on Hart. That was her second. Left-handed put up and good by Kristen Horton. 3-point lead for Cox. They get back very quickly on defense, does Cox. Keeler gives to Tammy Boggs. Hart at the top of the key. Seven and a half minutes to go in regulation time. 14-11. Cox High School on top. And a bad pass goes out of bounds.
There's no call for that. I know that upsets Mike Talon to no end. That was just a normal bounce pass. You let the ball go out of bounds. Lack of concentration. That'll hurt you.
And I shouldn't have been so quick to say it was a bad pass. I'm not sure it was a bad pass or a bad play on the part of the intended receiver of that pass. But nonetheless, it goes out of bounds, and a turnover will give the ball to Cox, and they have a 3-point lead with 7:22 left here in the ball game. That's right, in a ball game. If you joined us late, the first quarter ended tied at 2 as Phoebus held the ball for the greatest part of the first quarter. At halftime, it was 6-2 as that same stalling tactic continued. There you see Coach Walter Brower on your screen being talked to by a couple of the cheerleaders, or at least in the area of the cheerleaders. They're talking to one of the security guards there. Of course, Walter Brower, the successful coach of the Hampton High School Crabbers boys team, 21-3. They'll be taking on the Green Run Stallions in our second game. Green Run undefeated and ranked number 3 in the state. Keeler guards Bayer closely. We've got offensive foul.
That was obviously an offensive foul, and Dennis Nixon did a good job of calling that because Nikki was flat. I mean, she was standing there, had a zip code already coming to that spot.
Trailing by 3. Phoebus has to keep it close. Play number 1 is yelled out by Nikki Reed. She's guarded by Holly Bear. Now Keeler with a double high post. Now they break out. Keeler looking for someone to pass to. She She gives to Juanita Cook. Her shot strong, comes off to Cook. Put it up, no good.
And she was hit on the arm that time, but there was no call.
Cox with 6.5 minutes to go. Christian Bear calls play number 2. That's the give and go. Bear pushes it up and forces the shot in the lane, and Tammy Boggs will bring it down. This is Keeler. Phoebus trailing by 3. Tammy Boggs from 3-point range looks, dishes off to Nikki Reed. Nikki is double teamed momentarily, and she's in heavy traffic, puts it up, and a foul will be charged to Holly Bear. So Nikki, who's going to the free throw line, she's perfect there right now, 2 for 2.
Well, she's got 2 more tries here, Tim, so there's no pressure on getting the first one like it's 1-on-1, but you watch the concentration. If we get the camera on her face, she really concentrates. There you can see it, Tim.
This one just comes off the heel of the rim.
And there you see her. She's a 5'3" junior.
So she gets 1 of 2, and it's a 2-point lead. Keeler ties up with the Cox player. Good play, and the ball belongs to Phoebus on the possession. So Keeler doesn't do a lot of scoring, but she does a lot of other things for her team. She's the point guard for the most.
Tim, can you see the little, there's like a screen there with about a foot, and the ball went rolling, and guess who went after it? Nikki Reed. She does everything. She went after the ball. The official said, where'd the ball go? Where'd the ball go? She does everything.
Phoebus now with a chance to tie. Reed in heavy traffic. It goes out of bounds, and it was a good call. Last touch by Juanita Cook. This much taller Cox team makes it difficult to go inside.
Well, she had some contact that time as she's throwing it, passed the ball to Juanita Cook, and it went off in Juanita's leg.
Pick set, and Keeler runs into a much bigger Sandra Captain. Air ball put up. Captain has it underneath. It's knocked around and finally controlled by Cox. Another air ball, and it's saved nicely by Cox. Put up a 3rd shot. It doesn't go. Monica Hart battles for the rebound. She touched it last.
Well, they really got them hurrying their shots, Tim. They're used to getting much better shots often, but they're just throwing the ball up there very, very fast.
I'd be curious as to what the shooting percentage is for Cox. They're not doing well. They do connect on that one, however. Sarah Captain makes it a 4-point Cox lead.
No time to panic. Just run your offense.
Keeler to Hart from 16. Looks inside. Yolanda Keeler left alone. Hart wants the shot. She'll take it. So Monica Hart outside of her range under normal conditions.
Well, she does shoot a good foul shot, Tim, and that was from the foul line. I'm impressed with number 20, Haley Bear. She really handles that ball well because there's a lot of pressure being put on her by Nikki Reed.
Captain's shot doesn't go. The rebound goes all the way down and comes out. And then a foul underneath.
The foul is on number 44, Allison Moore.
That's her 2nd. But more importantly,
and it's a 1-on-1, Tim. I didn't think anybody's going to get in a 1-on-1. And we got Tammy Boggs shooting. So if I had a foul shooter I wanted, it would either be Nikki or Tammy.
So Tammy Boggs will go to the free throw line, and she'll have a chance to tie this ball game. 16-14 with 4:46 remaining in the ball game. And she'll get the bonus.
That's the shooter's bounce.
So Tammy now with a chance to tie. There you see a good shot of Tammy Boggs. She gets nothing but net on the 2nd one, and it's tied at 16. Hart looked like she did a pretty good job of getting the ball, but she'll be charged with a foul. They say that she pushed off, and that will be Hart's 3rd foul. course, with 4:46 to go in the game.
Well, that was
She'll
the bad.
stay
You
in.
don't, if you're a coach, Tim, you don't mind that kind of a foul because that's because of aggression, not stupidity. Because you're out there, you're being aggressive, and that's what you want your girls to be.
On the pick and roll, it goes out of bounds. Tammy tried to save it for Phoebus, but it had already gone out of bounds.
That was a moving screen in there. They missed that moving screen. I know you saw it.
There you see, or at least saw Stuart Holland, the coach for the Cox Falcons. Nikki Reed has it with a chance for Phoebus to take the lead. And she drives the lane. It's knocked out of bounds, and they say it was last touched, in fact, by Nikki. So they say Cox did not knock it out. So Phoebus had a chance to take a lead there. Now Cox will return the favor.
Somebody's got to pick her. You can't let her drive that ball down the basket, drive it down the court, and shoot an uncontested shot. And that's what happened that time. Everybody had their back to her.
Cox takes a 2-point lead. 4:09 to go. Keeler working hard. Inside it comes. Turnaround jumper. It doesn't go, but 2 free throws forthcoming. Foul is charged to Sarah Captain. That's her second. 2 shots coming for Juanita Cook. Juanita had all of the points Phoebus scored in the first half.
She sure did.
She had both of them. She's got 4, and she'll get the bonus.
Well, you'll need it. Notice one thing. Mike Talon is a good teacher. All these girls are good with the fundamentals, and one of those fundamentals is shooting foul shots.
There you see, Juanita is a 5'8" sophomore, so she'll be back for more. This one doesn't go, and it's now a 1-point lead for Frank W. Cox High School. Allison Moore is fouled, and it counts. Tammy Boggs is charged with her second personal foul. And that was a big play because with a little less than 4 minutes to go, you got a 3-point opportunity here. It could be a 4-point lead. Allison Moore has 6 points in the ballgame. Make that 7.
There's still time, no time to panic. Come down and run your offense, get a good shot.
Juanita Cook got a good shot, but it doesn't go.
She was a little off balance on that shot. She thought she was going to get more pressure than she got.
Could have been a 5-second call, there wasn't. Give and go, knocked away by Cook, good anticipation. Almost a full house, or at least the crowd continues to come in. Left-hander goes in. Kristen Horton with 6 points. And now Cox has opened it up to a 6-point lead. Phoebus needs a bucket. Cross-court pass. Inside it goes for Hart. Hart's shot is no good. Rebound underneath. Juanita Cook puts it up. She's fouled.
If she could just get her basket to go in and maybe have some 3-point opportunities here.
This is the 3rd personal foul on Sarah Captain, number 32. And Cook will be at the free throw line shooting 2. Both teams are over the limit. 3 minutes to go in the ball game. Hope you're enjoying this cable cast here on Channel 29. Juanita Cook, 2 for 2 from the free throw line tonight. This one won't go. Check that, she's 2 for 4. This one does go.
That was a nice shot, a good rebound.
I'm sorry, I didn't pick up who shot the ball.
That was Tammy.
Tammy? That's 6 points for Tammy Boggs. It's back to 3.
That looked like a walk.
Dish it off, put it in. Just as easy as you can. Kristen Horton makes it back to a 5-point lead. Got some excellent shooters. Monica Hart, like the success she had, doesn't go. That's not a hard game, really. She's an inside shooter. Dish it off to Captain. Back to Kristen Horton. No good. Rebound controlled by, who's got it? Tammy Boggs of Phoebus. She's double teamed in the corner. Has it knocked away. Now Nikki Reed gets it and has a major collision with Holly Bear. No foul, no blood, I guess.
And Nikki Reed knew that she had to get rid of that ball if she was going to travel.
Tammy Boggs will fire. It doesn't go, and now Phoebus.
Got to have some rebounders. No weak side rebound.
They're in trouble now, trailing by 5. A minute 49. Timeout called by Cox. So Cox has a 5-point lead and a minute 48 to go in the ball game. As a former coach, Bob, I'm sure your strategy here would be what?
Well, it depends on what team I've got.
All right, you're the Cox High School team.
Well, if I'm the Cox High School team, then I'll take my time, work the ball around, get it inside, and I'm not going to be in a hurry because Phoebus has got 2 opponents, the clock and me. If you're Phoebus, on the other hand, what you've got to do is put enough pressure on them, make them turn the ball over either by a bad pass, jump ball situation to go. The clock's in the favor of Cox right now, so you've got to turn the ball, make them turn the ball over somehow. Take a shot that they're willing to take. And of course, if the other coach is saying, be selective in your shots. We got a 5-point lead. Of course, they can't sit on it. 5 points is nothing with the 3-point. That's only 2 possessions, Tim.
You have to consider that 3-point play. Of course, right now, Phoebus has to get the ball back. That's their major concern at this point. They trail by 5, and they do not have the ball. Well, Yolanda Keeler fouls. That's her 4th. And it will be a 1-and-1. Of course, you have to get the ball back, so if you have to foul someone, that's what you have to do. And you see Mike Talon as he nervously waits.
We'll see what kind of a, excuse me, Tim, see what kind of a foul shoot team, because that's evidently his strategy. Put them on a foul line, hopefully they'll miss them, and we get the rebound, but they got to get the rebound, and there they came away. Uh-oh. I thought she turned the ball over, number 14, Kristen Horton, but she did not turn the ball. It was knocked out of her hands by Juanita Cook.
Inside, Sarah Captain forces it in. So Captain now with 8 points. Cox has 4 players that average 9.5 points per game, or better. They don't have one prolific scorer. They just have a lot of girls that do all good things. Tammy feels the pressure, dishes it out. Phoebus, by a deficit of 7 points, has to score. They don't have a lot of time. They may think it's a minute 13 before the 3rd quarter ends, but we're talking the game here, folks. You got to shoot it, Phoebus. Tammy will. Doesn't go, but you've got to at least fire it up. And a battle for the ball. We've got a jump ball. The arrow of possession belongs to the Cox Falcons. I can't understand. I know they were looking for a good shot, but you can't be too selective when you're trailing by 7.
No, you can't.
With a minute and some change to go. And now we're inside of a minute. You've got to get the ball back. You've got to foul somebody. Nikki Reed takes it upon herself to do that.
And that's not a bad person to foul, Tim. That young lady, Haley Bear, missed the last time she was at the foul line with the 1-and-1.
Timeout called by Mike Talon. 52 ticks of the clock remain in the season for someone. And right now it looks like it might be Phoebus who's in that unhappy position.
Yeah,
you see the Phoebus Phantom cheerleaders, at least you saw them momentarily.
Well, you got a 7-point deficit. They're going on the line to the line with the 1-and-1. You got 52 seconds. You've got to get down and score quick and stop the clock. Hopefully you can score, maybe even have them foul you. Now you got a chance to score from the foul line. But you got to keep the clock stopped as much as you can. I don't know how many timeouts the Phoebus has. Who called that timeout, Tim?
That was called by Phoebus.
Then they've only got 2 timeouts left, I believe, is all they've got, because they used one earlier that I'm aware of, and maybe more than that. You're
looking at the Cox bench area. Head coach Stuart Holland. At the free throw line, Holly Bear, who missed her only other try at the free throw line. She connects on this one.
Well, this Phoebus team only has one senior, and that's number 12, Yolanda Keeler. They've got some juniors and sophomores out there, so they're going to be a tough team. Mike Talon really works these girls well and really teaches them. Got to get the ball over here, got to shoot it.
Tammy gives the dribble up, gives to Nikki Reed. Reed will put it in. So Reed with 7 points and a foul. That's on Reed, wisely fouling as quickly as possible because you have to stop that clock.
7-point lead, 36 seconds. So since the Cox gals made those 2 free throws, they've lost 18 seconds off that clock. Took them 18 seconds to get down and make a score and then foul. Now it looked like that time it was Cox who called the timeout, Tim, if I'm not mistaken.
Lady Falcons do call the timeout.
This has got to, excuse me. Here you're playing the #1 team in the Eastern Region over here in the Beach District. They've won the district for 8 years in a row. They're a real tough team. You go to regional competition and you got to play the best team on their home court. That's got to be tough. That right there, you're going up to bat with a strike against you anyway. At least 1 strike against you. So this Phoebus Phantom ladies have done an excellent job.
They certainly have. They defeated a very tough Menchville Monarch girls team last Friday night to get to this point. Of course, the Menchville Monarchs have continued. The Lady Monarchs won Tuesday night, and they will advance further. Our congratulations to Denby High School for their successful game victory over First Colonial. They'll advance to the semifinals on Friday night. Holly Bear completes her 3rd free throw. The Hampton Crabbers in the game to follow. You'll see it right here on Channel 29, Green Run and Hampton. So Holly Bear misses her first free throw and then converts on 4 successive ones to give her team a 9-point lead. Tammy Boggs needs to get some points on the board. It doesn't go. It's lost out of bounds. It'll belong to Cox. 26 seconds to go. 9-point Frank W. Cox High School lead over the Phoebus Phantoms. And Nikki Reed is called with the foul. And Tammy Hedspeth didn't appreciate the way she was fouled. Nikki makes sure the official sees the foul. She makes sure the girl is fouled.
And then she went over and talked to Hedgepeth. I mean, you know, she let her know, hey, I'm trying to win this ball game. I'm not out to hurt anybody, do anything bad, but she let her know. She reached over and slapped her hand in friendship.
So Hedspeth now with 5 points, and it's pretty much sealing the victory for Cox, 32-22. Just 24 seconds away. Left-handed Hedspeth gets her 5th and 6th points tonight. Tammy Boggs will try from 3. It doesn't go. It's a little short. Good move underneath by Juanita Cook. It goes in, and she's fouled, and she'll go to the free throw line.
Well, if you're the coach over there for Cox, he said, hey, don't foul. Let her shoot the ball, but don't foul. The clock keeps running. 16 seconds. You don't want to give them a chance to get points when the clock is off.
Juanita Cook quietly has registered 8 points tonight. She doesn't carry the ball up the court. She doesn't do a lot of the ball handling. She just puts it in. And she completes the 3-point play. Hedspeth dishes it off. Allison Moore doesn't go. Rebound put in. Kristen Horton has controlled the basket. She's got 11 points, and that's your ball game. Are you going to try and get a chance to talk to Mike? No?
No, I don't think so. I don't think it's set up to do that. And at this time, Mike just wants to talk to his gals. I'm sure that he's got enough to talk about. He doesn't need me to come over there and stick a microphone in his face.
All right, let's run down quickly, if we may, for you the scoring totals. Unofficially in the ball game, Nikki Reed ends up with 7 points on the night. 6 points for Tammy Boggs. 9 points for Juanita Cook and 3 points for Monica Hart. For the Lady Falcons, they were led by Kristen Horton, who had 11 points. A lot of those coming in the second half. 6 points for Tammy Hedspeth, 8 points for Sarah Captain, and 7 points for Allison Moore. So as they said before, they've got 4 starters that average right around 9 points a game. Even with the stall, most of them were in the 7, 8, 9, 10 points per game scoring average. So the season for the Phantoms of Phoebus comes to an end as they will taste defeat as they lose 35-25, but certainly have nothing to be ashamed of.
No, Jim, they went out and they did what the coach wanted them to do. They were close at the end of the first half. In fact, they were real close at the end of the third quarter. I think it was about a point or 2 difference at the end of the third quarter. They came out and they wanted to keep the score closer. They had a chance. And at the end, the only reason there was a 10-point difference is because the Cox gals went down and I know what made 6 straight free throws that I'm aware of. And, you know, they had to foul and try to stop the clock, and hopefully they missed a free throw and come down and score. But they have nothing to be ashamed of. Mike Talon does an excellent job of teaching these young ladies basketball. Most of these gals, this is the first year they've ever played basketball. Monica Hart, this is her first year. Juanita Cook's her first year. The only one out there that has got any seasoning is Nikki Reed. She's been a 3-year starter. She still has 1 more year. So we'll look for them to be back and be very competitive in the Peninsula District next year, Tim.
Free throw line story for the Falcons, 9 out of 10 in the ball game. And that is a awesome shooting from the free throw line. The Lady Phantoms, 9 out of 13, so they didn't do exactly poorly at that particular range.
Right, but again, you got to get the points from the field goal range, and it looked there a couple times like they weren't sure who was supposed to shoot. And again, can't take anything away. But they played a good game, Tim.
All right, so again, our final score from Cox High School. The Cox Falcons victorious by 10 points, 35-25 over the Phoebus Phantoms girls team. For Bob Hintz, this is Tim Cole and our entire crew. Thanks for watching, and hope you'll join us next time on High School Basketball. Good evening, everybody.
The following has been a Channel 29 special sports presentation.